Upon entering the room, I performed hand hygiene. Morning, Daniel. My name is Jeff. I'll be the physician seeing you today.
Nice to meet you.
Is it all right if I sit?
Absolutely.
Alrighty. So today we're going to talk about what brings you in, some past medical history and some family history, and we'll get started.
Okay.
Is it all right if I take notes?
Absolutely.
And the environment's comfortable for you? Okay. All right. So can you tell me what brought you in today?
Feeling stressed, down, drained of energy.
Okay. And when would you say these started?
About a year ago.
A year ago, and what kind of proceeded to start?
New job. I'm an ICU nurse at Redmond, so ICU is stressful. I started from my bachelor's degree to working on my DNP, so I'm a nurse practitioner. This last fall as well, so they started at the same time really. And then a lot of life's responsibilities. Like my dad passed away a few years ago, so now that I've moved back home, having to pick up on the responsibilities around the house. We got 10 acres, and I work nights, so it's hard to do stuff during the days, to take care of the house and make appointments and all kinds of stuff.
I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your father. What would you say you do to make this situation better, relieve the stress?
I try to have as much social life as possible, try to hang out with friends. I go to church frequently, I'm very involved, and I exercise.
Okay, good. What tends to make it worse?
When it all gets clustered together.
Clustered?
Yeah.
Seems like it's overwhelming, I understand. So how would you feel like it impacts your daily life?
I'm able to complete my responsibilities. It's just getting harder and harder to find motivation, to be positive, to have the energy, and it just takes me so long to get motivated during the day.
Right. Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, 0 being no stress, stress-free, 10 being basically where you're overwhelmed, you're locked down, you can't do anything, how would you feel like the worst has been?
An 8.
An 8. Okay. And then on that same scale, where would you feel like the average is?
About a 7.
Okay. And where's a good goal for you?
6 or 7. I'm pretty used to stress. I've lived a stressful life. I kind of thrive in those environments.
Okay.
But it's just at some points it's just getting overbearing.
Overbearing. Okay. So just to recap everything here, you come in, you're stressed, overwhelmed. You said a little overbearing with starting a new job. Starting a new program at school, and some household duties that since you've moved back home. That started last fall. You take care of it by exercising, social time with family or friends, and you go to church. And then it seems like everything gets worse when it's clustered and there's a lot of activities and everything. Sounds like we're where we need to be at a 7, and you can handle a 7, but if we can, we'd like to bring that down. Okay, does that sound right? So we're going to talk a little bit about some allergies. Do you have any food allergies? Okay. Medication allergies? Any environmental allergies? Nothing? No pollen dust? Anything? Okay, good. We'll talk about some past or medications, current medication. You take anything regular? Nothing?
Multivitamins every day.
Multivitamins daily? Okay. And do you know what kind they are?
Bends 1 a day.
1 a day? And you take them once a day? When you wake up. Any other medications that you've been prescribed?
No, like long-term prescriptions. I've had a few things here and there, like when I was younger, 12 or 13, it was Accutane because I had very severe acne.
Okay.
Then I had some high-strength ibuprofen in college for an IT band injury, but I didn't really take those. So I don't believe in medication unless it's necessary for life, like diabetes and insulin.
Right.
And then I've taken an antifungal, this random rash that I get every once in a while. I've had it 3 times, and it's just a whole bunch of dots across my chest. And my doctor said it looks kind of like tinea, but not really.
Okay.
Prescribed it, and usually after the first few doses, it clears up. It's a 14-day regimen. I take them all. I don't just stop when it goes away.
Okay.
I don't know the dosage on it or anything, or I can't remember the name.
Okay. It's an antifungal. And when was the first time you had the symptoms for that?
Right before I moved to college, like just a week or 2 before I moved to college.
Okay, and when was the last time you had a problem with it?
Last year.
Okay. All right. Any problems with Accutane that you took?
nosebleeds, but it's pretty common.
Okay. Splits. What about the incidents and issues? You said you didn't take it
I
much.
didn't take it. Ibuprofen kills my stomach, it makes it cramp, but I don't take it anyways.
Gotcha. All right, we'll go over some past medical history. You said you had some IT band issues. Um, anything else history-wise?
Just that acne, and then I've got scoliosis.
Okay.
I diagnosed with it when I was young. Football
Yeah.
happened, but no, like I don't have like diabetes or anything like that.
The scoliosis, how bad does it affect you daily?
Not at all, really.
Do anything for it?
I go to the chiropractor maybe once a year when I feel just a little off, but I don't ever have like severe pain or anything from it.
Okay. Do you know how bad it is? What degree? No. Okay. Any surgical history? Never had any surgery. What about hospitalizations?
None.
Never. Have you ever had any psychiatric history? Been admitted to hospital for it?
I felt real depressed one time my senior year, kind of during winter break. I don't think it's because didn't have anything going on. Like I get stressed out when I don't have anything going on. I feel like I should be doing something. And I was in a lull of like there wasn't any sports going on. I was a little stressed about college coming up and scholarships and paying for it. And my dad being sick, and I couldn't really pinpoint why I was just stressed. Like it wasn't one certain thing. And I told my parents, I was like, hey, I'm feeling depressed. I don't feel like I have energy. Couldn't do anything. Didn't feel like doing anything. Now, talked to them about maybe going on medication, but I held out for a few more weeks. The track season started, and I was fine. But that's the worst it had ever been, and that was a one-time instance.
So that was a long time. Okay, good. And it's really good that you recognized it and you spoke about it. That's good. We're going into health screenings, health maintenance. Do you see the doctor regular?
Only like when I get that rash and stuff. Otherwise, about once a year when I have to get my physical for school.
Okay, and you do that yearly, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
What about immunizations? Are you up to date on those?
Yeah, we have to be because of school. I got my flu shot today.
Flu shot today, good. That's good. All right, we'll go into family history. Tell me about your siblings.
I have a half brother on my dad's side. He's got PTSD and anxiety. He was in Iraq.
Okay, so military, yeah. What about your parents? Any history for them? Starting your mother.
My mom, she's very sedentary, doesn't do a lot. She's been diagnosed with depression, high cholesterol, pre-diabetic, and stage 1 hypertension.
Okay. What about your father?
He passed away about 4 years ago from heart disease. Excuse me. He's a Vietnam veteran. He was exposed to like Agent Orange, and it caused a lot of defects on him. He had lung issues from where he smoked for quite a while, but he quit. And otherwise, he was a very active man. Like he biked a lot, did stuff. He had some heart attacks in his late 30s, I think.
Okay. Let's go with your grandparents on your mother's side. Tell me about them.
My grandmother on my mother's side was the only one alive of my grandparents when I was born. She very poor health, malnourished, smoker to the day she died. She died a few months ago. Heart issues, lung issues, all kinds of stuff. I didn't really know her too well.
I got you.
And then my grandfather on my mom's side passed away in his mid-50s from a heart attack.
Tell me about the grandparents on your father's side.
Don't know anything about them.
Nothing about them. Okay. Alrighty, so we'll go into social history. Are you single, married?
Single.
Single. Any children? No? Okay. In your employment, you said you're an ICU nurse. You work at
Redmond
Hospital. Good hospital. Education, you're pursuing your doctorate right now. Tell me about any alcohol use.
I have a few drinks on the weekend, maybe like 2 on Friday, 2 on Saturday.
Okay. How many would you say you have in a week?
Max of 6.
Max of 6. Just a few questions regarding alcohol use. Has anyone ever criticized you about your drinking?
Yes, but it was somebody who doesn't come from a culture of a lot of drinking, and it takes about 1 alcoholic drink to get them drunk and they don't understand that me having a high tolerance, like 1 or 2 beers, doesn't really do much to me. And they don't drink often at all. Like they might drink once every other month, and then me drinking every weekend to them seems like an issue.
Okay. Has anyone ever made you feel bad or guilty about your drinking?
No.
No. Okay. And um, have you ever felt like you needed to cut down on it?
No.
And one last question: have you ever had a drink early in the morning to steady or calm your nerves?
No.
Okay. Any illicit drug use?
No.
Nothing. What about tobacco use?
I smoke a cigar maybe 3 times a year for celebratory occasions, and I don't even inhale it. I just the taste.
Tell me about. You said you exercise. How much would you say you exercise?
2 to 3 times a week. Pretty
And
extensive.
vigorous exercise, you'd say?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're getting an adequate amount of exercise recommended. What about diet?
It used to be really good. I mean, I was on a very strict diet, took very good care of myself. But since I moved back home, and I've got an hour drive, I don't have a lot of time to cook. My mom just brings home fast food. She doesn't cook, and I do pretty well at work eating healthy, but at home it's not good, and I don't like it. It makes me feel bad, and I'm trying to fix it.
Okay. But you're familiar with the daily recommendations: carbs, proteins, and fats.
Yes.
Okay. So we'll try to get better on that. Have you traveled outside the country in the last 6 months?
No.
So sounds like some things. A plan for us today is going to be we will see you again in 1 to 2 months. Check on the stress and see where we're at. From there, we will go into maybe a 6-month appointment, unless you feel any thoughts or feelings of suicide or depression that gets worse and can't handle it. You come in immediately or call 911 and they'll evaluate you. And then if everything continues to stay the way they are, we'll go to maybe every year and we'll just evaluate things from there. We will continue to monitor your cardiac. You seem to family history has a cardiac history, so we'll keep an eye on that. You smoke a few cigars, so it's not a big problem with you smoking. So we'll just continue to keep up on the cardiac and the anxiety, maybe some depression. Other than that, is there anything else you'd like to talk about?
That's it.
All right, Mr. Daniel, thank you for your time.
Thank you.